Hi, I'm Sung Ray.
I'm something else.
Here, Black Girl Soul, a podcast where we discuss the Asian dramas we love from a Black female perspective. We are looking to be entertained, to learn about other cultures, and share our passion for these shows. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. This is Black Girl Soul. I am something else, and
This is Sung Ray.
okay, so this is what we're going to call a special report because Sung Ray just called me up. I don't know how I missed it, but she just called me up with some news, and Twitter is all a Twitter about this. So take it away, Sung Ray.
So I called her up to tell her about Kim Ji-Soo, the actor, the male actor, and how I was just like taken aback. Like, I don't know, like if you guys follow us, I happen to have been somebody who really liked him. I liked his acting. I liked his looks. I liked him as an actor. So I followed his shows, his movies, things that he was in because I wanted to see them. Even so much as I've gone to YouTube to watch stuff because it might not have shown on a place I could find it. So, this kind of like took me out. And him and Nam Joo Hyuk were good friends, and I don't know if they still are. I assume they are, but they were good friends, and so I loved the both of them. The two of them together, I called them my guys. So seeing this stuff start popping up about him being accused of bullying, I'm like, oh God, what is this? Is this real? Like, is he really doing these things? Did he really, so on and so forth? So like, I was just really taken aback, and I asked a few questions on Twitter and on Instagram about it. And people, share, well, there's a lot of stuff happening and going on in South Korea right now, dealing with speaking out about bullying and things happening, and people, having had past issues occur, and nothing has been done in the past and up to now. So the first article I read was from Korea Boot, and so the Korea Boot article, it had actual quotes from the people. So I'm reading them and I'm going, this not a good look. I hope this is not the case. And it just, I don't know. As I was sharing with something else, initially she was like, oh, that's terrible. But then when I started telling her about like exactly what was being put out in these articles, I was like, this is ugly. Well, we get to his art today, his agency, Key East, they put out a comment, and their comment was basically to say, right now, we don't know the details. We are looking into this. Please give us time once we've done our looking into this. And, please be mindful. This is stuff they said clearly. I want to make sure I get it right because I don't want to misquote anybody. I'm reading translated information from Pink Villa. But hello, this is Key East. This is our position on the content and the posts about our actor Ji-Soo that are being spread around online communities. We are looking at this incident seriously, and we will do our utmost to verify the facts. First, as a very long time has passed since the time that this is being addressed, we ask for your understanding about needing time to verify the truth. We will receive reports through email about the matter and collect the information as is without without distorting anything. Moreover, if the creator of the post and the others who came forward will allow, we would like to directly hear their thoughts. In addition to confirming the facts, the agency and our actor will do our best to resolve this matter. We apologize for causing concern to many people. However, apart from this issue, we earnestly ask that you avoid creating and posting parts that have not been confirmed from the information that is being spread indiscreetly. Thank you. So that was their statement that they put out. And I saw that sometime earlier this morning. Well, day goes on. We get to the end of the day, and Mr. Ji-Soo just posts on his Instagram. And I think this is kind of what took me out because I'm just going to read it to y'all and y'all tell me what y'all think because I don't know. And something else, share your thoughts after you hear this as well. This is Ji-Soo's handwritten apology that has been translated. As it's a translation, this might not all make 100% sense, so please forgive me. I'm just reading what I was given as a translation. But it says, I sincerely apologize to those who have suffered from me. What about the past misbehavior? There is no excuse. These were actions that could not be forgiven. As I started acting, I covered my past, receiving undeserved attention from the public. I think I've come to this far. But in the heart of the past, there was always a feeling of guilt. It's too late to turn back regrets. It always came to me with great anxiety. The dark past has always crushed me. Seeing myself acting as an actor, we deeply atone for those who have suffered for a long time. I will reflect on and regret my past, which I will never wash my life, or I guess wash out of his life, forget it, whatever. Because of that individual's great fault, broadcasters, production crews, actors, and drama scenes, to the staff members who have kept silent, it is painful and it's sinful to do it. It has done enormous damage. Because of me, the drama no longer. I sincerely hope that no damage will occur. To all those who have been hurt by me, I sincerely apologize on my knees. And that's it. So, something else, what do you think about that?
So we kind of talked about it briefly, and you're in your feelings more than I am because I've known you to be like a great fan of his. And so I understand why you're in your feelings about it, but I'm kind of slightly removed. I'll say this: I have been a victim of bullying in my lifetime. And I have also risen above that by beating the hell out of my bully.
Hey,
so so I've been able to balance that out. You know, it's like there were bad times and there were good times. Good times were when I beat my bully's ass. So I'm not saying this lightly when I say that the letter is frankly like the maybe the least he could do and the most he can do. Like the most that he can do really is that they're going to pay these people off and they're going to clean up his image. He might lose his career off of this only because it's very hard to be in love with an idol
right.
when you know that he's an asshole. And some people like that type of dude. I relate. But you don't really want to believe that the person that you're seeing on screen is unkind. You know, so I think that this is a huge blemish on his reputation at the very least. I'm I'm it's laughable. Okay, I was going to say I'm more surprised, but it's actually laughable that his agency thinks that saying that they're going to look into the matter is like giving them some real space and time, especially when their client just came out and was like, "I'm sorry, I did it." All they can do is sit down and say, okay, so how many kids did you beat down in the streets? How many sexual partners did you have who you may have coerced in some fashion? I mean, I haven't read anything that gave the impression that he raped anyone, so that's great. But clearly, something was going down related to some kind of like sexual assault or something like that because I'm reading from my drama list and they talk about how quote other alleged victims also came forward and shared how they were bullied and sexually assaulted by Kim Ji-Soo. So yeah, I think there's more that may come out as time goes on as the victims speak and discuss things. But yet again, I'm like, if y'all have dirt like that, I mean, between idols and politicians, if y'all have dirt, clean it up before you do major stuff. I mean, okay, in America, we have a ridiculous number of like folks who are getting in trouble, right? Me Too movement and all. But the closest I can think about for something like this is Mark Wahlberg, because he was a straight up racist hoodlum back in the day, and he still somehow has a career. Now, he's a white guy from Boston, so maybe that's why. I don't know. And I have mixed feelings about it. But when it comes to Kim Ji Soo, I don't know if people will be able to get past it. What do you think? Would you be able to get past it, Sunray?
I'm going to tell you now, I cannot. I cannot.
Mm.
I cannot based upon the articles that I've read, the people's actual statements. So, like, I'm going to share with you shortly some statements from, I think, two or three different netizens who posted their experiences, and I'm like, damn, that's some foul stuff. Like you was overboard, bro. You was overboard, and the fact that I guess the fact that you made your way into the spotlight, got into these places, and didn't take the time to stop and say, I realized I was an ass. I realized I did stuff that was way out of order and wrong, and try to clean it up. You waited till
Right.
people started reporting, and I think that's where my problem lies. Your sincerity is lacking, in my opinion, and you're correct. What else can he really do? But again, his sincerity is extremely lacking to me, because dude, your motherfucking ass could have said something way before now. You waited till people
Mm.
said something about you. Now all of a sudden you sorry and want to get on your knees. Fuck that shit. Get up off your knees and figure out how to make it right. Go talk to the people.
Right, right, because it's not about an apology, it's about
No,
restitution.
thank you.
And that's why I was saying that it may be like truly, it may be, if okay, if he were an American actor with this kind of blemish, I would expect that he would do, of course, the public apology, the private apology, like he'd go on an apology tour, okay? And then he would do some kind of joining some kind of group and doing community service, Mothers Against Bullies or Kids Against
Right.
Bullies or something like that. So he would do all of that. He would run around doing that for a while. And then if he was lucky, he could get one of his victims to stand up next to him and basically go, okay, I accept your apology. They would roll with that for a while. Then they give it a slight break on his career. And then he would like slowly come back in doing bit parts and try and, revive his career. That's what they do in America, right? I don't know how they do it in South Korea. I don't know how, because there are too many cute kids who can cry on cue. He's a dime a dozen, for real, for real. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I'm gonna share with you some of the two posts. So the one, this is, they don't tell you anybody's name. They just call this Netizen B. So this is the second person that they have quoted text from, and this is from Korea Boo. And it says, when I was in seventh grade, Ji-Soo slapped me in the subway. I can't remember how much he hit me, but I'm sure it was more than once. He hit me again a few days later because I didn't buy him a drink from McDonald's. I was shorter than him, so I had no choice but to be hit by him. I was very scared of him because he made threats to me saying he did judo. Then he said he did judo on Knowing Boys, brothers. I'm not sure who that is because they have that capitalized like that's a group or something, but I don't know who they are. I had such mixed feelings. He would also beat me during our basketball games. He lost to someone like me, 150 centimeters tall at the time, in a 2-on-2 basketball game. He got so upset that he started to beat me up. Once I scored the final basket, the punches came flying at me. He was the carnivore and I was the herbivore. Remember peeing in the classroom? During seventh grade, I was in class 3 and he was in class 2. And since our classes were so close, it would take under a second for him to come into my classroom. I went to his classroom to see my friend, and I was shocked to see Jisoo urinating in the trash can. Even more shocked was Jisoo saying he wouldn't clean it up. During ninth grade, Jisoo was the main perpetrator of countless cases of bullying and abuse. I don't think the public should like you anymore. I don't think a violent person like you should be loved by the public after packing up and cleaning up your image. Some people have been abused more than I have, and some people clearly, certainly, have not overcome what happened to them. This is karma, and I and everyone else who have been writing about your school assaults feel the same way. They said the second netizen C claimed Jisoo would even make sexually harassing marks towards his own girlfriend at the time. So this is the quoted text from netizen C. It says,
See,
"Go ahead.
okay.
No, go ahead."
Why did it take so long? Like, what was the catalyst for all of this coming forward?
I'm thinking because someone said right now there is a type of Me Too movement happening there. There's been a lot of actors and K-pop artists who've had people coming out about the bullying and the stuff that they did, that they, I guess, swept under the rug and kept moving like it didn't happen. And so people are saying, hold it. Now you getting up here into these spaces and places and you're gonna just disacknowledge all of what you wore and who you wore and try and put on this face like you're a good person. No, we can't let that happen. That's not cool.
Wow.
So I think he got caught up in the Me Too movement of South Korea.
Wow. I mean, that's commendable. That's super commendable. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, bullying is definitely a problem in America, and I think that it's come to the forefront like in recent years, but I don't think I've ever heard of like kind of a come to Jesus yeah,
Yeah.
for bullies, like some straight up like reckoning for the bullies. I've never even imagined that in my head. So I mean, more power to South Koreans for not putting up with that anymore.
And
My
speaking
God.
out against it, because I've heard the
Right.
school bullying is what we see in the dramas is light compared to what really happens. So
Oh, I'm sure.
this, no, I've heard from people who've experienced things that said, yeah, they show you all the cleaned up version. No, it's worse than that.
Right. No, I mean, I'm sure even in America, I think, um, mental, it's like I'm trying to use a heavy word to express this, like the terrorism, the psychological terrorism. It's a bad
Yeah,
combination, but
but I
let's go
got
with
you.
it. Right. Is so devastating that for the wrong person who has no support system, that can ride you your whole damn life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that there are portions of me that are twitchy because of the bullying that I faced as a kid. Um, I think it's part of the reason I don't trust people. So it is a real thing to have to live through being bullied and then go to the other side. And then when you turn on your television or, or you go to the movies, you see your bully right there. And it's like, it's so not fair. It's
So
so not fair.
listen to this one because they speak to that. They speak to that. They speak to that. So it says, I thought it would be a matter of time. Again, this is from Korea Boo, and this is the second netizen that they posted their quoted tweet or their quoted, I guess, information. So it says, I thought it would be a matter of time since a new movement of school assaults by celebrities would start spreading over the internet. Jisoo was really violent when he was in middle school. I also still remember being hit by cherry tomatoes thrown by Jisoo's bullying group in the cafeteria. Jisoo would pick on particular people, but he went around the school acting like he was a king, indiscriminately getting into quarrels with students, hitting and cursing them for no reason. I was so afraid of him, so I would always try to avoid him. One day I saw Jisoo making sexual remarks about his girlfriend at the time, and those remarks just crossed the line. I went to the same elementary school as the girl and was friends with her, so I messaged her to be more careful around him. But the next day, Jisoo came up to me, made a threat, and hit me. At the time, a different person in Jisoo's group stopped him after he hit me. When I first saw him on TV after he debuted, I thought he wouldn't last long, but I was complacent in my thoughts. It was really shocking seeing his face on the first floor of department stores and Olive Young in dramas and movies. But most crucially, it was more shocking to hear middle school girls in academies talking about him saying they were his fan. I am legally responsible
Mm.
for my posts. I will stand in solidarity with the other victims. If the agency or Jisoo himself states that these accusations are not true, I will return with more evidence. That right
Woo.
there, that was my catch. That was the one that made me go, oh shit, wait a minute. I don't
Right.
know about this.
Right. Because lots of people like to you accuse in public and
Okay.
go look for public opinion, but man, the person who's like, I got receipts.
And I will bring them.
Woo.
I will bring them.
Right. And see, here's the thing. This is the thing that always gets me about bullying in schools. And that's the reason why kids tend to accept it and just take those hits and try and get past it. It's because there's a whole system that supports the bully. Like, he's running around hitting people, peeing it in trash cans, and there's no teacher that's stopping that. There's no teacher that knows and calls a parent. So that's just he just running roughshod all over the place, and no adult knows. No, the adults knew and they turned a blind eye.
There you go. Because I was about to say they turned a blind eye, or they too were afraid. Because depending on where children wind up, and I'm someone who works in the educational setting, so I'm speaking from experience. So depending on where people work and the type of environment, children, they can sense when they have an upper hand in situations because of how the adult responds. So if the
Mm-hmm.
adult responds in a manner that lets them know you're intimidated or you're scared or you've shown some level of, they're gonna up their ante and keep doing things a little bit higher, a little bit more, just to see what's the response going to be to the next thing. And once they've got a place where they feel comfortable, they run it if that's what they feel like they can do. And not because I think all kids are bad, but I mean that's human nature. We're going. My aunt's favorite line is, "People will do what the market will bear," meaning
Mm,
that if you allow it, they're gonna do it. And that just is how things work. So you have to be mindful of how you respond to people and how you respond to situations. And if you let something become too big, because as you said, maybe two or three people turn their heads to it and let it ride, then it gets so big that now everybody's afraid of dealing with it and no one wants to touch it. And then I don't
right.
know
And
his
I
background or who his parents are, what, where he comes from, that maybe did they have money? I don't know. I don't know any of his story like that to be able to tell you he may have had bagging on that sense, but
right. I mean, even if the parents didn't have money, it's like, did they have basic decency and common sense? Like, maybe not. To have a kid like that and not know at all, or to know and like give him a pass, because he was riding that train for a second, right? Like they said, solidly through middle school. And that's when, honestly, that's when kids end up being the worst. Like in high school, sometimes it's beat out of them by that point. Like if you were an ass when you were a middle schooler, by the time you get to high school. But even in high school, it's like, come on. I mean, we heck, in the workplace you see bullying, and it's just interesting because I have seen teachers be bullied by kids.
Mhm,
Like, I kid
mhm.
you not. And it's very unfortunate. I mean, and so that's what I'm saying. There was a whole system in place to support his bullying, where he could just wild out, and just there was no, not parent, but no teacher to see kids getting beat down at school. Come on. That's not how that works. So, um we just wanted to do a special report on this because Sung Ray was like, "Oh my gosh." And I'm always up for talking.
Oh wait, so okay, this is the first person who spoke. I guess where all of this started, from the middle school, and I'm not going to even try and pronounce that middle school, but from the middle school that he went to. And basically, this person is saying that, he's giving you a rundown of how the day went, and he was saying that he was nothing more than a school violence perpetrator, a gangster, and a bully. At that time, he was bigger than everyone, bigger than any other students his age. That was in eighth grade. He was the top delinquent of the school and committed numerous evil acts. Jisoo and his group, Kim Jisoo and his group of other delinquent friends had quite an organized daily routine. First, it was unacceptable if anyone contested Jisoo or his friends. Whenever one of his friends felt offended, even just a little bit, they would come find you and unilaterally accuse you before beating, insulting, and stomping on you.
Mm,
Smoking was a given. I know, right? His group of bullies never bought the cigarettes themselves. They always ordered other classmates that they considered subordinates. Also, they never waited in line to get lunch. When food they didn't like, such as kimchi radish or cherry tomatoes were served for lunch, they would target other students. They would fling the food towards the students around them by using their spoons or their mouths. I can still vividly see how they laughed amongst themselves when food would land on others' clothes or faces. It was the same smile that he uses on screens now. And you can
wow.
see that's what I'm talking about right there. That person's traumatized.
Wow.
The target of his food wasn't random, and even if you were hit by accident, you weren't allowed to look at the group. The moment you met his eyes, he would yell, "Ah, damn, this fucker," and slap you as he cursed you out.
Mm,
Even Kim Ji-Soo and the other bullies were in different classes. When they wanted to sit next to each other in the cafeteria, they would take away seats from students who were already eating or sitting down themselves. In conclusion, I was bullied by Kim Ji-Soo and his group of bullies during my third year in middle school. It's not enough to define everything by just the word bullying. Bullying, violence, intimidation, insults, and abusive language were all committed. The reason this started was because one of the bullies in Kim Jisoo's group stole my gift certificate. I went to the bully who stole it and told him I would report him to the police if he didn't give it back. This kind of behavior was against the rules of Kim Jisoo's crowd. Since then, my once normal middle school life became one of horror. Maybe
mm.
because I said I would report them to the police, but they were careful with me. They used other classmates to harass me so they would won't be can get away if necessary. I guess it's a translation. Those that he sent would consistently curse me out.
So it wasn't just that they
Oh,
bullied, they encouraged other kids to bully, which is like to the second power. It's just like you don't know who you can trust and who's safe. Wow.
right. And it goes on. I told a tall tale. I said that's where it ends. Oh no, it keeps going on. So I'm not gonna read the entire thing because I mean he's giving you the curse. Well, this person, because I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl, they're giving you the curse words that were used at them. They're
Can you
about their
post it on
parents.
Twitter?
I can.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for reading that. And woo, you know what is so crazy? It's that I forget the show that we recently both kind of watched. I watched a little bit and you watched more, but he was like the little brother and the big brother, and they were both in love with the same girl. But I just remember you talking about how you wished he were a lead, like you wish he were in a lead role with, and he would win the hand of the lead female. But in retrospect, it's great that he really hasn't had a lot of lead roles, right?
And the sad part is like right now he is in one, River Where the Moon Rises, and I actually, I liked it, but now I guess I can't even finish watching that shit because of this shit. Like, damn, dude.
He messed up your
Yeah,
schedule.
true, true.
Because when did it come on?
See, I watch everything on the weekend to help myself. But I think it's a Tuesday, Wednesday drama. Not 100% sure, but whatever the case is, I the fuck can't watch it now. Shit.
Is there anything that you want to add other than maybe um people watch out for our tweets to, hear or discuss the issue more as it happens? Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add, Songray?
Just basically that myself and something else want you to know we stand against bullying. We stand against people who have made this a career and a business and act as though it's okay. These are not things that we condone or feel like they're okay or right. And we are very deeply disturbed. Let me be real specific. I am
Right.
very deeply disturbed by this because, again, as I stated, he was an actor that I liked. So I just hate that. I hate that this situation happened. I'm hoping that the victims can get some restitution from this, that they can
Right.
feel like they were heard and that something is actually being done and not just him losing his job or cancel culture. No, I want them to honestly have been heard and feel like they matter because they matter.
Exactly.
They matter.
Exactly. No, exactly what you said. Like him making up for it, that's nice for him, but I don't really give a damn about him at this
Nope.
point. I'm like, how you gonna pay back?
Fuck
How
that
you gonna pay
nigga.
these people back? Can they beat you down the streets and get it filmed? I mean, like, I have that kind of bloodthirstiness about myself. Like, how is he gonna make good? Because the trade-off is losing his career entirely. Um, but hopefully they're, like you said, they're heard and they get some kind of help to clean and heal those wounds.
Yeah.
Because it's like I kind of don't care too much about him. I mean, we're talking about him, but I care about them.
Right.
So um that is all. Tell us what you think. I am something else and
I am Song Ray.
have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Black Girl Soul. We enjoyed having you, and please subscribe, like, and follow our Facebook page, YouTube channel, Twitter page, Instagram page, and join our Facebook group. You can also find us on Patreon. Please look below for links. See you guys next week.